Yo, this is me, Mike, Ringmaster of the Imagination Circus, and I'm here to give you my reaction to the latest episode of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. This time, Season 9, Episode 11, Student Counsel. Thankfully, I have no information concerning what this episode entails, but I'm excited as usual. And, of course, there was a slight delay in recording this, but regardless, I hope that you don't mind as I finally get this out to you, and I hope you all enjoy. Anyway, let's get into it, shall we? Because as usual, I'm very, very, very excited. Heyo! Lay.
I know.
Ooh, it's Trixie and Starlight.
So I figured you could use a break.
Oh, wow.
Trixie, this looks amazing. But my job doesn't really seem like work.
I'm sure.
Speaking of...
Yeah, no, I can see what Trixie's going for here. Also, DWK is totally going to make this seem like it's a date. Although I will give Trixie credit. She clearly put a lot of work into this, and it's very nice.
The students at Twilight's School of Friendship is demanding, but... Oh, one sec.
Trixie's face. It's glorious.
Oh, right. Being able to use the experiences of my checkered past to help young students feels pretty great. Oh, yum! Thanks.
Of course, I feel nothing.
She looks adorable with that chubby cheek chewing looking look.
And I miss
Great.
spending time with you.
What are you talking about? We're spending time right now.
Well,
That's the...
Hold on,
Oh, Trixie.
I cast a spell on the door to my office, so this bracelet goes off whenever there's a knock. Yona is having the worst time with her braids lately. Anyway, you were saying?
I mean, to be fair, I mean, I appreciate that you put in so much work, Starlight, but it does seem like you are getting pulled away at every second. It's kind of amazing she isn't overworked, seriously. I mean, maybe it's just a particularly busy day at the moment, granted, knowing cliches and how these episodes tend to go, I can tell it's going to ramp up a bit, but still, she seems pretty chill about it right now. Interesting start. Also, I'm glad we got at least one episode with these two, because considering, like, it's interesting to consider. I like what they've done with their friendship, but we really haven't gotten that many episodes since that friendship started. So I like that we get at least one more before this iteration of the series ends. Anyway, let's get to the rest, shall we? I'm very interested in where this is going to go. And back to the school.
My younger cousin's decisions to stay sea ponies, but they've never been on dry land. Preparing for a visit with them is almost as much work as the research assignment Head Mare Twilight gave me on hazardous fauna of the Everfree Forest. How would you describe a shower to creatures who live in water? So far, I've got warm and steamy. Actually, steam has water in it.
Silverstream, there are a lot of students who want to see me today.
I just need a few shower adjectives that don't rely on the wet part.
Well, there's clean, relaxing,
Relaxing? I don't know. A nap's relaxing too. Warm and clean are okay. Wow, I have to give this some more thought.
Oh,
Clearly.
okay. Well,
Although, seriously, that's an interesting thing to have to report on. I don't know. I probably have a very easy.
If we leave now, we can finish everything before sundown.
Trixie, I can't leave. It's almost spring break. Twilight and the others have already left to celebrate the spring solstice in Canterlot, and I have to help the students with any issues before they head home for the holiday.
I know you're busy.
Okay, just to be clear, you have there's a spring solstice apparently. Okay, good to know.
Party, Mud, and Mudbriar are throwing. Sunburst is coming to town.
Oh wow.
And I promised to make the cake.
How could I possibly forget about that?
Okay, seriously! I know I've said it in most of my reactions this season, but the facial expression... Okay, that's funny. Also, I feel for you, Pony Man. I feel for you. But seriously, the facial expressions this season are on point! I cannot emphasize it enough.
I'm sorry.
Also, I love that all of the like the secondary group are like getting together. Mudbriar, Mod, the.
Great.
So they're apparently these two agreed to make the cake. Oh my God! With Starlight's like facial expressions are like.
Mod needs streamers for the decorations. Sunburst wants us to pick up a genuine pre-equestrian spring solstice chafing dish from the antique shop.
Of course he does.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Bouquet of flowering sticks, whatever that means. And I thought we were both looking forward.
You know,
to
it occurs to me, is it weird that I think Sunburst and Mudbriar would get along really well? Because I can kind of see those two getting along.
We could just buy a cake from her, right?
We could, but then we'd miss out on baking together. Plus, the time I spent flattering and convincing and begging her to share the recipe would be for nothing. And we promised to make a cake, not buy a cake. And the great and powerful Trixie keeps her promises.
Okay. Why don't
Okay. I don't think I've ever felt so bad for Trixie, and also wanted to say chill.
Started on those sticks, and I'll be right back.
Oh my God. Starlight, I get it. It's your job. It's your literal freaking occupation. But seriously,
I just said I'd take care of, because I am totally gonna take care of them.
Oh my God. I don't ship them, but I could kind of see why they would come off as being a couple.
No idea.
Oops. Sorry, Rose, but I need a bouquet of flowering sticks stat.
I thought I was getting the flowering sticks.
I'm still not exactly sure what they are.
No one is.
Right, got it. You get the sticks.
No, seriously though, what are they? Like, cause the number of times they've been brought up, like, clearly they're important, but what the hell are they? Like, it's funny. Very funny. Seriously, yeah, I'm with Trixie. Come on, really? That's like, there's gotta be something illegal about that. Oh my God.
Now, Smolder, I understand the school can be a bit drafty, but that doesn't mean you can breathe fire anywhere you want.
Okay, that was cute. I like that. And to be fair, now there's a ship I can kind of get behind. I don't know. Something about a griffin and a dragon getting together makes a weird sort of sense to me. Not that I outright ship them, but I can kind of see it. But...
Alice, it's perfectly normal for a changeling to struggle with identity issues, but...
Counselor Starlight! When you're done, I need some synonyms for the word dry. Or really just help explaining the concept.
Oh my God.
Wait, Mrs. Cake! You can't close. Trixie and I need to learn the recipe for your equinox cake.
Oh, it's fine, dear. Trixie was already here. I told her everything she needs to know.
What? No! Oh, the great and powerful Trixie might keep her promises, but the busy and distracted Starlight sure doesn't. I promised to help her today, and I haven't done a single thing.
Again with the faces.
Oh, that does sound hard, dear. And I'm not quite sure how to tell you this, but your health is glowing.
Of course it is.
Yes. See, that makes sense. Also, you live at that location, don't you? Like, the Cakes live there. So where is Mrs. Cake going at the moment? Did they move out and leave Pinky the location? What was, like, that seems weird to me. Am I wrong?
Your students are more important than your friends.
That's not...
Starlight, do you have a minute?
Now, to be fair,
Actually, Silverstream, I don't.
Yeah.
Besides, I need to lock up the school for the holiday, and it's time you caught the train home. I'm sure a smart and capable student like you can figure out the solution to any problem over the break. But for now, the counselor's office is closed.
Okay. Okay. You didn't handle that quite right. Though I will agree, Silverstream was definitely wasting your time with all of these... Like, you can figure this out by yourself, Silverstream. Okay, interesting looking cake.
Is this cake supposed to be so sharp? I mean, it looks really interesting.
Technically, it's not symmetrical or aesthetically pleasing.
Maybe it's not the best cake, but we made it together, and that's what counts.
I'm glad you brought it, and everything else. I'm very excited. This is going to be the most perfect party ever.
And with all of your
I love
students
you,
home for the
Maud. I
holiday,
really
I
do.
won't have to worry about you being
I
summoned
really
to
do.
all the
It's just
student
very hard to
events.
keep track of the way you talk.
Nothing is gonna take me away from this party.
Hello?
Well, she took up.
Starlight?
Sorry, this is a private cavern.
Is Starlight here? I was told she'd be here.
What's wrong?
I'm Tim, Silverstream's brother. I've been looking all over for you. Silverstream is missing.
Ha! The dull look of nonchalance on Trixie's face is hilarious. Okay, so yeah, let's go over this. Okay, so spring break has occurred. And, of course, Starlight did her job, and it was her job. And to be fair, she takes it very seriously. She does care about the students, but she also cares about her friends. And Trixie's annoyance is definitely not uncalled for. After all, they haven't been spending as much time together, and they did promise to bring the cake, which they did. But it wasn't great. To be fair, those two working together on a cake was never going to end well regardless, but I feel like it could have been just a little bit better. But then again, who knows? And regardless, Silverstream, I will admit, she was clearly wasting Starlight's time just a eensy-weensy bit with all of the questions. I get it. Writing a paper is difficult, and trying to describe something that someone has never experienced before, it's like trying to explain colors to a blind person. You know what I mean? They're really not going to get the concept of it. It's like you're like those people who seem to try and describe that what a blind person is seeing is just blackness. But that's not really true because, you know, they can't see, period. It's not blackness. It's nothing. They have no concept for what black even is. The point I'm trying to make is she was kind of wasting Starlight's time, but Starlight didn't really handle that situation. Like, she came off a little too cold, maybe a little bit rude. Didn't really work out. Regardless, could have been a little better. I am enjoying this episode. It's a very interesting collection. Also, I like the idea that these 5 came together to have a little party. It brings together all of Starlight's secondary friends, of course. Like, we've got Sunburst, Trixie, and Maud, but then we got Maud's boyfriend, Mudbriar. I still think Sunburst and Mudbriar could totally be friends. Like, I don't know why, but those two I could see totally having very weird and yet interesting conversations about things, just things. Regardless, this is fun, and I like I said, as usual, this season the facial expressions have been fantastic. I especially liked Trixie and Starlight's expressions more or less. I am very curious because I will say while Starlight didn't handle the situation well with Silverstream at the end there, I do think her running away, which is probably not what actually is happening, but her outright running away is a bit extreme if that's the case. I don't think it necessarily is what happened, but we don't know. She could just have bunkered down somewhere to write that paper. I mean, is it that important to her? I mean, come on, I get it, but still. Alright, regardless, let's see where this goes from here, because we're still only in the middle section of the episode. We haven't hit the end section yet, so let's go. Let's go. Come on. Hey.
I don't understand. Silverstream didn't come home?
I was supposed to meet her at the Mount Eris train station, but she never showed up.
Mount Eris has a train
It's a long
station?
way between Ponyville and Mount Eris. She could be anywhere. Our parents are leading teams of hippogriffs and sea ponies, searching the land and sea between here and our home. They sent me to check the school.
But the school's closed. All the students are gone.
Are you sure? I know she had a big project due for Twilight. Do you think she might have stayed to finish it?
She never told me about a project.
Well, to be fair, you closed your office the last time she came by.
Really?
What kind of counselor turns away a student with a problem?
The kind with too much on her plate. Starlight has always gone out of her way for her students. And I mean always.
Except apparently when it matters. This is all my fault.
Yeah, there's some of that old Starlight
We'll find your
insecurity
sister.
that I know and sort of feel sorry for.
I should have known it couldn't last. Party perfection is more of a Pinky thing.
I wasn't going to say anything, but these flowers are just glued on, so technically, it wasn't perfect already. But that's probably not important.
Even Mott was raising an eyebrow at his ass. Oh my god. Mudbriar, I think you're great. That reaction, that was fantastic. Also, yeah, where are you? Come on. Stars. Silverstream. I gotta remember. I don't know why. She's the one member of the Young Six I can't remember the name of. Smolder. Okay, now I'm... Smolder, okay, now I'm forgetting the name of the griffin. I know.
Did you check her room?
Sandbar, Yona, Ocellus, which I really... You think that one would be the hardest to remember.
No, she isn't.
Like Ocellus.
But look at this.
A cockatrice?
Could that be what her project was on?
Why would her project be on a cockatrice?
You don't think she went into the Everfree Forest to find a cockatrice by herself, do you?
I don't know, but I'm going to find
No, seriously,
out.
what the hell? Why is she going after a cockatrice?
Oh, what are you all doing here?
We came to help.
We couldn't let you handle this alone.
Technically, she wasn't alone. But we wanted to help anyway.
Thanks.
Okay,
All of
that's
you.
pretty.
But the students are my responsibility. I'm the one who didn't do my job when it actually
Seriously,
mattered.
I might share a bit of the blame for
Griffin,
pressuring
Griffin,
you into
Griffin,
leaving work early.
But I don't want to ruin your party.
We can still have a
Gallus,
party.
Gallus, right?
A search
I'm sorry, I
party.
was thinking about that too much.
Can we talk about all this later?
Ocellus,
Silverstream
Gallus,
might be in the
Sandbar,
Everfree Forest alone.
Yona,
We think she went
the
into
Smolder
research on
and
cockatrices.
Silverstream. That's right.
What?
Okay, so you see what I mean? I mostly got it. I just don't know. You would think Ocellus would be the unforgettable one. Also,
reptilian birds are elusive and solitary. Where would we even start?
I have a lot of experience telling ponies that I have experience with the dangerous creatures of Everfree Forest. Follow me!
I mean, okay. I mean, I know what she's referring to. Nice reference. That's like season 1, episode 5 reference, I think, if I'm correct. But seriously, Trixie.
The great and directionally astute Trixie says we go left.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe Trixie's so convinced by her own abilities that she actually has some good instincts for this sort of thing. I wouldn't put it past her. Although, wandering around the Everfree Forest like this is probably not the wisest thing to do. Although the sudden, I don't think there were this many paths here that long ago. Okay, Trixie's at least trying, I think, which is something, you know. Yeah. I don't remember Silverstream's brother's name either. Really? Really, Mudbriar? Dude. Okay, now you're literally going in circles. Or at least it looks like you're going in circles, because you keep turning back. Okay, did she just... Okay, that, I don't know. I can't tell if I'm bewildered or impressed by Trixie.
Weren't we just here?
Trixie, do you have any idea how to find a cockatrice?
No, but usually when there's a dangerous creature in the forest I don't want to meet, this is how I meet them.
We might need a more concrete plan.
To be fair, if experience
According to
teaches anybody
Silverstream's
anything, that's...
research, the cockatrice prefers rocky terrain and ample shade.
Rocks and shade. I can't imagine where we'll find that in a forest.
Actually, rocks aren't the most hospitable environment for shade trees.
Technically, pine trees like Pinus cembra or Pinus sylvestris can grow from narrow crevasses or cracks in a rocky rhizosphere.
You complete me.
Okay, you two are... you know what? I know some people don't like Mudbriar, but the two of them together are adorable. Oh my god! That's a lot of cockatrice! Like, holy shit, that's a lot of cockatrice.
I thought you said they were solitary.
They are. This must be some kind of migration.
So that means the one in... Not only is the one... Okay, just to point out...
Just lucky we're all
This means that the one in Tartarus is definitely not a solitary cockatrice.
Technically,
The fact that that means it's gotta be the one specifically from what, season 2? Yeah, season 2, or I think. Or no, actually, was that season 1? Man, that was a long time ago. But did they actually imprison that cockatrice for almost freezing, like, Fluttershy and the Cutie Mark Crusaders and actually freezing Twilight? I mean, it's been a while since I watched that one, but because if that's the case, that's what this implies, because they wouldn't just, you know, they're not going to imprison a specific cockatrice if it didn't do something, so I had to assume that's the same cockatrice, which means that's an interesting, I mean, granted, yeah, it did freeze Twilight, so I guess that's technically a crime, but I don't know how to feel about that. That's interesting, to say the least. Regardless, I do like this. One, they've got a bunch of, like, where is Silverstream? What is this project she's doing for Twilight that she needs to freaking study up on cockatrice, of all things? And then there's got so many cockatrice. Don't look at the gosh darn cockatrice. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm fine. Let's get to it, shall we? Yeah. And yeah, everybody's running from the cockatrice. Yeah, and they gotta run. Ow. Yeah, that was bound to be happen with your when you're running with your eyes closed.
Sunburst! Stop! It's me!
Starlight! I'm so sorry. We have to get out of here.
I know. Hang on.
She's good at the teleportation thing, which, to be fair, we know already, but still, she has been spamming that all episode. That's really impressive.
Be careful!
Don't look!
The clucking is coming from everywhere!
The great and powerful Trixie fears no cluck!
Come on!
Ha! Man, does she ever not have smoke bombs? Nice going.
Maud, we've got to get out of here.
I'm not leaving him.
Ah! Mudbriar's been turned! Okay.
Mudbriar's been turned to stone?
I didn't think I could love him anymore.
Why did you have to make it weird, Maud? I mean, I kind of expected that from you, but still, why did you have to make it weird?
We can't stay here. Come on.
Although, seriously, geez, Stone. I don't know how to feel. So they gotta be very careful. Seriously, they're everywhere! Like, come on! Oh yeah, that makes sense.
This way.
To the ruins of the princess's former castle, which now has a magical treehouse in it. To the magical treehouse of Harmony! Yeah! Pretty sure that's like the...
Now what?
Let's hope Silverstream found a good place to hide. There could be hundreds more cockatrices on the way. If this really is a migration, it'll take a full lunar cycle to complete. Oh, I have to get word back to our parents that Silverstream could be surrounded by those terrifying birds!
And as handsome as Mudbriar is now, we should probably catch one of them to turn him back to normal.
Ugh,
yeah.
This is all my
Though,
fault.
also,
I'm never taking time off from my counseling duties again.
You really are not
That seems
helping
a little
much.
extreme.
Really? If I hadn't galloped off to a holiday celebration, Silverstream would be safe with her family, and you'd all be enjoying Maud's party. Instead, my student is missing, we're surrounded by a flock of petrifying chicken snakes, and Maud's boyfriend was turned into a hunk of rock!
You got the hunk part right.
Freaking yes! Thank you! Seriously, Starlight's expression there pretty much sums up my feelings on that. Even if it is kind of funny, which it is, but seriously.
Has that always been there?
What? Oh, that's the student's treehouse. Apparently it grew from the Tree of Harmony and... Of course! That should have been the first place we looked!
No! Duh! Ha! Okay, that's funny. Also, like, seriously, someone help Maud with Mudbriar.
Silverstream, look out! Counselor Starlight, no! Wait!
This is Edith. She's helping me with my project.
I don't understand.
After you encouraged me to solve my own problem, I decided to get my project done before I left. That way I could really focus on my family during my visit. The school was closed, so I came here.
Why didn't you tell anyone? Mom and Dad are worried sick.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Once Edith volunteered to help, I guess I lost track of time. Cockatrices are really friendly if you know how to interact with them.
Really? That's interesting.
I can't believe you figured out how to trigger her nesting response.
They are really fascinating creatures. Did you know that they migrate to the Everfree Forest once a year? Can you imagine what would happen if you stumbled on a whole flock of these?
I have a few ideas.
I'm sorry you got turned to stone looking for me, but I'm glad Edith was able to turn you back.
How do you tell the difference?
I have mixed feelings about it.
Technically, I will always be a stick pony, but the experience has given me an even deeper appreciation for the density and permanence of rock.
Swoon.
Silverstream and I should
Those two really are perfect for each other.
For everything you did to help find her.
God, if they have kids, and they probably will, I don't even know. Oh God.
Starlight, you didn't abandon her.
I might as well have. And even though it turned out all right, things could have been a lot worse.
You can't be expected to supervise your students every second of every day.
I'm not so sure.
I like that you're always available, but it kind of makes it okay to come to you with stuff that maybe isn't super important.
Of course, being a school counselor is a big responsibility, but always being at work isn't fair to any pony. Especially me.
Do you think if I had set times to see me, it might help you decide what you really need to talk about?
To be honest, you really weren't very helpful with the other stuff anyway.
Yeah, wait, what? Happy Spring Solstastic, every pony! Who wants a piece of Mrs. Cake's famous...
Petrified dessert?
You had me at petrified.
Okay then. Okay then. Let's get to it, because let's get to it. Okay, so what do I think of this episode? This episode was pretty fun. It was good. Again, like, it wasn't one of the better ones, but it was actually decent. I'd give it something of a score, if I had to, of 8.5. Yeah, let's give it an 8.5. Now, here's my issue with the episode. The beginning, at least to me, because I don't know what your thoughts might be, but to me, the beginning felt a little bit rushed. Not bad, just a little rushed. However, I can understand, because this kind of story, like all the others, you got 22 minutes, basically, not counting commercials. It has to go by fast, and so I can understand they had to montage it, they had to push it, but they did showcase it well. It just felt a little too fast to me. You know what I mean? I think if let's say this was the regular episodes of MLP were like 40 minutes long, I think this would work way better as a 40-minute episode, not a 20-minute one. But regardless, overall though, the episode was way interesting. I like that we got to see more cockatrices, and like I said, the implications for the one in Tartarus is very interesting. Mudbriar being turned into a statue, and Maud's unhealthy interest in his new form was funny and yet a little disturbing, but what can you do? Am I right or am I right? Regardless, I did find that a bit entertaining, and I like that this disparate group of ponies got together and were having a good time on the spring solstice, which really brings up a question, because I'm pretty sure that's not a thing in our world. So how does that work exactly? Regardless, I did very much enjoy it. Like I said, it got a good laughs out of me. It had the usual well done facial expressions for this season. There were just some really funny bits. Trixie was a highlight in this episode, and I've slowly become attached to Trixie over many seasons of her different appearances. Really, it wasn't until I think it really was when we got to her friendship with Starlight that really emphasized her character and why she could be so entertaining. And she pulls it off. Like, her attempt to just run into a monster because she has that sort of bad luck, makes sense. I like that that's the logic she used, and hell, she was willing to swallow or at least put dirt in her mouth to try and find a missing student. The fact that they didn't go to the Treehouse of Harmony first really annoys me because it was the obvious choice. And she was there, and her project. I will say it was really bad on Silverstream's part. I am saying her name right. Silverstream, that's right, isn't it? But it was really dumb on her part not to at least inform her family she was going to be staying a little bit longer, just a little bit. Seriously, girl, come on! It was also nice to see a little bit of Starlight's old anxiety come back, because, you know, that is part of her character, because ever since she's reformed, she lacked a certain degree of confidence that she had as a bad guy, and as such, she needs to, you know, be secure in her placement and her position and her ability, otherwise she sort of loses her shit. And here, we saw that. She panicked. She couldn't handle the fact that she may have put one of her students in danger, that she failed to help. You know, what could you do? What can you do? Regardless, I think that this all makes sense. You know, honestly, all of the characters were pretty good. I like that, like, you know, Mudbriar got chastised for his comments a couple of times, because that was, and not because I dislike Mudbriar, though I will appreciate anybody getting, you know, chastised when they need to be. But what I like about it here is the fact that, like, the expressions we got out of him, everybody, seriously, Mod of all ponies gave him a raised eyebrow when he made a comment about the blooming stick. Seriously, what is a blooming or flowering stick? What is that? So, like, can we actually get one of those? Because I want to know what the hell it actually is. Seriously! Also, the petrified cake. Apparently, Mod, it doesn't matter if it has anything remotely like a rock going on. And like I said, if those two, if her and Mudbriar reproduce, God help all of Equestria, they're doomed. And Pinky will be their aunt. Well, they really will be doomed. Okay. Regardless, you know, I thought it was an overall entertaining bit. I really enjoyed the episode. Regardless, this was very, very enjoyable bit. And, yeah, I don't know. What else was there? A bit about the cake. Mrs. Cake's appearance. That was nice. I feel like the opening, like the whole thing was just very fun. I don't think it had a lot of super notable moments, but I could say that if I wanted to, I think I would go back and watch this episode again if the choice was, you know, arisen to me. If I were to go through the season and look at, okay, what episodes do I want to rewatch? Yeah, this one would probably be in there. So overall, I say I enjoyed it. Like I said, I would give it an 8.5. It had some, like, pacing issues, I think. It was a little rushed at the beginning. But overall, I thought it was an enjoyable piece. It was entertaining. And as usual, it made me eager for next week's episode. But regardless, this is Mike, Ringmaster of the Imagination Circus, and I hope you enjoyed this reaction alongside me. And if you feel so inclined, please do come back for more in the future. Thank you, and good day.